Like to fly. I mean, you don't like to fly, but you like to go places, don't you? You like to, most of us like to take a trip, don't we? Especially if you're up here in Rainbow Unicorn Land and you just spend 6 months in winter. It's nice to take a short little plane ride, a few hour plane ride down to the Caribbean, soak in some of that sun, just live on a different realm for a little bit. Well, you might want to think twice now. I don't know after seeing this. Of course, this is what we have anticipated all along. In fact, this is exactly what they wanted to make happen. It's astonishing. It's astonishing. I am just... You gotta hand it to the New World Order, though. Right? They figured it out. They figured this is the one thing that we can do, and we can change everything with it. That's the way they thought about it. And that's the way it's happening. So here we are with air travel here in Rainbow Unicorn Land here. Susan Ormiston, who's an employee of the Canadian Brainwashing Corporation, is publicly funded by Canadian taxpayers and wants to turn your kids into trannies. And here you've got robots, electrostatic sprayers. Air travel industry looks to technology to bring back wary passengers. Now, they just announced, I think it was 20,000 Air Canada employees now laid off, and you know that the travel industry and the airline industry are two of the hardest hit. And now what they're showing around the world is the airports are mostly empty, and then people are taking empty plane flights. Or then sometimes people are taking flights and everybody's sitting next to each other, and that's intolerable and horrible, and how do we let this happen? The crazy thing, of course, here is what comes stays. What comes for Kobe is here for good. And you should pay attention to what is coming, what is here. I mean, it's already here. Check it out. So airports and airlines struggle to decipher what it will take to restore confidence in the wake of pandemic. The most maligned and misused word of the century. Scamdemic would be the most appropriate term for what is going on. And here you've got, of course, this Avio Interiors, an Italian company that designs airline cabins and seats, spent the early lockdown in Italy coming up with some ideas to protect travelers, including rear-facing middle seat with a tall guard that could separate seats. And Daniel Gooch, the president of Canadian Airports Council, was winging his way to Vancouver from Ottawa for meetings on March 12th, just as the coronavirus was about to upend the world. By the time I landed, most of my meetings were canceled, he told CBC News. The next morning, he got on the plane and he returned to Ottawa. It was his last business trip. It's going to be a very long recovery, Gooch said. The airports are empty. The revenue is almost completely stopped, and we don't know when it will come back. If and when the air travel does come back, technology, oh yes, could play a big role as airports and airlines around the world explore and develop some sci-fi-like approaches to help passengers feel morally safer. Yes, they want you to feel morally safer, and so they're going to spray you and hose you down and make you dance through hoops of fire. And of course, facial recognition and everything else. Oh yeah, isn't it going to be fun? You thought it was bad enough when you had the big, grubby, fat men feeling up the little 5-year-old girls. Wow, wait till you see what they're doing with this scamdemic. Welcome to the airline flight of 2021. Before boarding, walk through a disinfection tunnel, dancing through hoops of fire. And the thermal scanner. Yeah, you get both of them. You go through excuse me, sir, you have to go through the disinfection tunnel. First you go through the disinfection tunnel, then you go through the thermal scanner. Aren't you lucky? Aren't you feeling morally safer? Isn't this astonishing? And have your bags sanitagged. Whoa, isn't that clever? Begins a report, The Rise of Sanitized Travel, published by Aviation Market Consultancy in April. And here is somebody who obviously is paying close attention to her mind control. She's got her mask on. She's got her little teddy bear bag here. And she is social distancing. She is, Good job. Good job. This is Wanling Zong. Something Wong with Wanling Zong, an international student whose visa is running up, has to fly home to Washington. Flying for business and pleasure is still largely grounded. Down more than 90% of North America since March, according to passenger numbers from the U.S. Transport Security Agency, or Administration, pardon me. Air Canada has also said it's laying off at least half of its staff. So I said 20,000. What do they say here? Yeah, 20,000. I was right. Isn't that wonderful? Just imagine how many people, 20,000 people. That's just one airline, although albeit a major one, the biggest one here in Canada. And then you got this douchebag. Listen to this douchebag. Here he is, and I guess he's standing in the airport, but he's got no mask on. And he's going to talk about all the innovations that these people have come up. Of course, it's only because of Kobe, right? We're scrambling. We had to come up with things. Technology. Now police state, 1984. It's all good, though. It's all to keep you safer. Wow. Listen in, folks. And no copyright strike.
Another aspect of technological innovation that can help us through the future is actually not all that new, but is in the areas of border processing and passenger processing, where we've seen facial recognition be able to manage identification of individuals, matching their identities.
But isn't that illegal? Doesn't that violate Canada's Privacy Act? Oh, it is completely illegal. It's completely illegal, but you're doing it anyways, and you're saying it's a virtue. It's a wonderful thing. You notice how they snuck all this in, and then boom, you go to the airport. You're getting hosed and sprayed, and you're going through hoops of fire. You're getting facially recognized. You're going to get anal probed, most likely, before long, if they get their way. All to get on a flight. Wow.
To their documents in a touchless way. Innovation and technology that we were perhaps pursuing from the perspective of improving the experience for travel.
I take that back. He's clearly in front of a green screen here, but
and throughput now also has an additive advantage in that it reduces the touch points that passengers need to have with physical equipment and
does that mean that the fat TSA guys aren't going to touch the little girls anymore? Huh? Probably not, though.
Border and security agencies. So we're certainly looking for border and security innovations that we might have been looking at before the crisis for a passenger experience to help us with the COVID health aspect as well.
Isn't that interesting? The skies are open, but many flyers are fearful, worried that airports and ours confined to strangers or with strangers inside a plane are just vectors for the virus. Look at this. They're just vectors for the virus, creating risk. Many are not willing to take. I guess many are watching television. I guess so. Maybe if they just turn off their television, nobody would care about any of this stuff and everybody would just be going on about their lives. Of course, that's the problem. Everybody watches the lie vision and they're all programmed. So Wei-Ling Zong, who we saw before, had to fly home last week from Washington, D.C. to China. She arrived at airport in a mask, plus a plastic face shield. Yeah, you go, girl. You go. Something wrong. Nothing wrong. With Wei-Ling Zong. She was also wearing gloves. Oh my God. She's all on board. Why don't you just wear a hazmat suit? I mean, why don't you just do the full Monty? Go the whole distance. Do it all. As an international student in the U.S., her visa was running out. If not, she said, I wouldn't get on a plane. I'd just stay home and not go out. That's it. You just stay in your room all day long. Never leave. I just see the television told me to. And here is an airport. This is the Reagan National Airport in Washington, D.C. And look at that. Look at how polished the floors are. Look at that. I guess at least somebody's working. Airports and airlines worldwide are struggling to decipher what it would take to restore confidence after pushing up the kind of sanitation security and overhaul even greater perhaps than the security measures put in place in 9/11. I would say, yeah. And you remember, everything that came with 9/11 stayed. everything stayed. It never went away. It's still here. You're still getting felt up by TSA guys. It's still happening, folks. The one characteristic of an airline that's going to thrive on the other side of this crisis, it's an airline that can be nimble. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. And Josh Earnest jumped over the candlestick here. Josh Earnest, Chief Communications Officer for United Airlines. With the low volume of travelers, physical distancing in airports is possible now, but imagine what happens when millions return. With social distancing of about 2 meters between passengers, said the Gooch, it takes about 350 meters just to accommodate the security screening line for one wide body. I just have people lined up all around the entire airport. You can have them on the runway strips and stuff, all lined up. You can fit the planes in between the people, sort of thing. Just have all these different lines going across and intersecting each other. It'd be like snakes and ladders kind of thing all over the place. So a couple of flights at once would easily jam up the airport concourse, creating just one of a myriad of challenges. Sanitation is the primary one, say many aviation experts, and futuristic solutions span everything from more touchless travel, avoiding screens that might be infected, to clean portals, scanners that could detect viruses. And of course, we showed this, right? In Hong Kong's airports, cleaners are spraying an antimicrobial coating on dozens of places travelers touch, from escalator handrails. Let's just chop off the hand. How about that? You just chop off people's hands. Then you say, hey, they're using their stumps. Well, then chop off their arms. Then they can't use their stumps at all. And then they can't touch anything. They can't even touch their face. And then the problems are solved, and then you can do a CB saying, airports are finding it much easier now to contain the virus now that everybody's arms have been removed. Here you've got the Clean Tech J1. This is what they're going to make you do. Dance through hoops of fire here. This guy's, I guess he's waiting to go in. He's getting facially scanned. Then he's got to go in. He's got to get sprayed down. Then he's got to go through. This is the booth that takes the person's temperature and sprays a light disinfectant. So that's not the other one that we show you there. In fact, there's another video that they had here a second ago. I'll see if I can find it. The airport is also testing a clean tech booth that monitors temperature. This is it. Before a person enters for about 40 seconds. You got to sit in there for 40 seconds. It's spraying you. It's analyzing you. Who knows what's going on? It's clean. Don't worry, guys. It's clean tech. It's clean tech. It's getting you morally safer, much cleaner, that's for sure. 40 seconds, it sprays a light disinfectant, avoiding the face. It's meant to kill germs on the surface. I'm sure it's really good for you. Meant to kill germs on the surface of the body. So far, it's only being tested on staff, but airport authorities said it will be using it for passengers. Oh yeah, Pittsburgh's airport is trying out a robotic floor cleaners that can cover millions of square feet in the airport, working 24/7. I'm sure Pittsburgh airport staff are just thrilled. I'm sure all the cleaning guys are just, hey man, that's awesome, man. We're gonna work with actually, we're not gonna work anymore. Automation. You see how many different things are coming in. Of course, I talked about that the other day with the delivery trucks, right? Or the delivery tricycles, the Ed 209s that come and bring you your pizza and stuff like that. Now, everything they're doing everything with this thing. I mean, they're eliminating most jobs. Most jobs are going to be eliminated. This is the way it's going. All the service jobs, all the cleaning jobs, all the truck driver jobs, all these things are going to be all eliminated. And they're going to bring in the robots. And then what use are we going to be at that point, right? Serious questions, folks. A UVC light. Okay, hang on a second. Pittsburgh Airport is trying out a robotic floor cleaners that can cover millions of square feet in an airport, working 24. Is that why the airport? Those floors were so clean up here. Imagine you have to compete with the robots, and you're like, oh my God, look at the job the robots doing. I'm screwed. So anyways, yeah, the robots use disinfectant and shoot out a burst of UVC light as an added layer of sanitation. What I was showing too with the automation video with the pizza delivery tricycle sort of thing, the Ed 209s, they were actually talking about how that they use the UV sanitation lights to disinfect the food. It's like, why is the food infected? What's the food infected from? I saw this too the other day, by the way. I don't have it prepped now, but somebody had tweeted it, and it went kind of viral, and it was somewhere in Western Canada, Alberta perhaps, British Columbia, where they were spraying like copious amounts of disinfectant on the food. Yeah, on the food, on like in a grocery store. They were just shh. And the guy that was spraying it, I think it was Grace that put it up, because she's like, if he's wearing a hazmat suit, the guy was wearing basically a hazmat suit, and he was spraying the aisles of the grocery, all the food. I mean, how evil is this? It doesn't. It's unbelievable. It just gets worse every day. Stop the ride, please. UVC light has been used in hospitals for decades as a way to kill Mike. Well, let's just turn everything to a hospital. How about that? Why don't we have that? What do you call it? Disinfectant gel. Why don't we just have that every 5 feet? Just put it everywhere. Just a disinfectant gel. So the people can't take more than 2 steps without squirt, squirt, disinfect your hands. And you've seen what they're doing to the kids, right? Going back to school, the exact same thing. This is all insanity. How are they allowed to do this? It's so insane. So, and then adding an extra layer of ultraviolet light to the scrubbers helps ensure even more. UVC light to neutralize viruses. So this is the other thing. So you thought it was bad enough going through this, but you got another thing to go through here. UVC light to neutralize viruses. UVC light is also used in other devices being promoted for airports, like the Cleanse Portal, a doorway-shaped arch that emits UVC light meant to inactivate pathogens like viruses on the body. The Florida company selling the portal, healthy. It's healthy, guys. I'm telling it, it's healthy. It's got to be healthy. Said low exposure to short waves of far UVC light is safe for humans, and the process of applying for approval from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, aka Monsanto, it's already sold. It's already sold the device for office use. Awesome. Why not just put it everywhere? You can put it at people's in front doorsteps as they step out. They have to go through the portal. In Church Falls, Christian Pinkerson, interesting name, Christian Pinkston, installed one in his strategic communications office, along with truffers, ceiling light fixtures that use HEPA filters and UV LED light to clean the air. He just cares so much. Look at him here. He's like, you must put your hand in your pocket to go through the portal. What a douchebag. Look at this guy. Who's your fashion consultant? You look like an idiot. Anyways, the entrance, this is the business owner here, the Christian Pinkston. Hey, that name is pretty apt now when you look at him. Hey, Christian! Looking pretty pink there, dude. Anyways, it's constantly recirculating the air at a pretty high volume through a very powerful UV tube. It's killing anything airborne. Anything? What? I could definitely see this being used in airports, said Pinkston. The technology is rapidly evolving, and no one solution will work. Let's just use them all. Let's use them all. Let's be ultra morally safer. Let's just use them all. And the hoops of fire that we have to dance through. Everything. Why don't we just, shave people's heads as they go into the airport? Maybe they might carry Kobe in their hair. Why not? You got to shave the pubes down below too, right? Why not? Just scrub the bodies and make them go through all these different disinfectant portals. It's unbelievable. Can you believe this? 2020. Oh my God. Instead, experts are looking at layers of protection for now and for the future. This pandemic isn't a one-off. There will be other pandemics we have to deal with, said Catherine Koralik at the Pittsburgh airport. Are we going to continue with super high levels of disinfectant and social distancing, wearing masks for the rest of our lives? Probably not. Probably not. Oh, I wouldn't put any money on that, folks. But I think some level of these measures will continue. Just remember 9/11. Never forget. That's all. Never forget. They won't want you to forget it. Never forget what they did. And here, all you guys making decent salary for cleaning floors and stuff like that, and you deserve to be paid. Well, guess what? Ed 209's taking over your job here. Here's Ed 209, right? He's coming down. Robotic scrubbers. And they don't need to take breaks, man. They don't smoke cigarettes. They don't take breaks. This mopper doesn't stop for donuts, man. They could just keep going all night long. You could just work them. But airlines cannot wait for this pandemic to pass. Many are sending notices to customers to try to reassure them that hyper-sanitation is now a key part for safety. Is it really the people that are so scared? You know, it's like the chicken or the egg kind of thing. Is it really all the people that are scared, or is it the media that is making all the people scared? Or are all the people scared because the media is putting out stories like this? Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You see? I mean, imagine if they said, oh, guess what? It's all okay now. You can go to the airport. Probably everybody just go back to the airport, right? People go on with their businesses and their lives and all that. But no, we got to spook the people 24/7. We got to turn your kids into trannies. And we have to, scrub you down and make you dance through hoops of fire to get on an airplane. I'm just speechless. I can't believe where this is all going. So then some they haven't gone far enough. See, some avian analysts or analysts here suggest airlines will have to go further. Maybe putting a sky janitor. Sky janitor. Is it going to be an Ed 209 sky janitor? Sky janitor or cleaner on every flight to wipe down the bathrooms after use by a specific number, maybe 10 passengers. Why just 10? Why not just do it after every passenger? Actually, I don't mind that part. Trying to be part of the solution. The report last month, the rise of sanitized travel by simply flying through hoops and portals and sanitation doorways and gateways, and I mean, come on, there's nothing simple about it anymore. So Simply Flying, an aviation marketing consultancy from Israel, makes 70 suggestions. They include the creation of transportation health. 70 suggestions. Look at this. 70. Let's do 3. How about 4? No, let's do 70. 70 suggestions. They include the creation of a transportation health authority in the U.S. or across countries to establish standardized health and sanitation guidelines. Avio Interiors, aforementioned there, an Italian company that designs airline cabins and seats, spent the early lockdown in Italy. Oh, yeah, this is how they spent it. Coming up with ideas to protect travel. They just care so much. Their business to design cabin interiors and aircraft seats had ground to a complete halt. It was one of our shareholders who said, "You've got to be part of the solution," said Avio Interiors Paulo Drago. Interesting name, Drago. you watch the CBC. They got a lot of drag shows on, man. Paulo, I think you should watch the CBC. We have 10 ideas. We had 10 ideas. We chose 3 to go into design and get patented. And there you go. Isn't this awesome? Your little portal. Pretty soon you're just gonna get in. You're gonna be stuck in a giant Tupperware container next to some giant freaking tuna fish sandwich. A portable shield. You need a shield. Portable shield that could go over an airline seat to separate seatmates. But then can they be seatmates if they've been separated? We're still seatmates, don't worry. And allow them to avoid each other's breath. Oh my God. I mean, whatever happened to just some chlorets is one of the solutions proposed for inside airlines by Avio Interiors. One is Glass Safe, a transparent shield constructed of plastic that fits around the sides and tops of an airline seat, making a barrier between you and your seatmate. It's portable, could be folded and stored in a sanitized envelope under your seat. And I can just see them doing this in the stadiums too. I could totally see this. Under the seat or given out like a blanket or a pillow. Here you go. Here's your Tupperware container. Make sure you don't move your head out of it. We are trying to limit the breadth of propagation. We're trying to eliminate bad breath, said Drago. Yeah, looking ahead, the company is in advanced talks with about 20 airlines, ka-ching, 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 including some in North America. He said, although more futuristic product is a middle seat that faces backwards, how about you just put the middle seats upside down, have the people hanging upside from the ceiling, right? Why not just go the full nine? Anyways, another more futuristic product is the middle seat that faces backwards and has a shield both for sanity and privacy. Oh yeah, they care so much about your privacy. That's why they're gonna use facial recognition for you everywhere you go. They care so much about your privacy. The Janus seat here, named after the ancient Roman god who looks after toilets, is not the right tool for now, said Drago, who likes drag stories, because the prototype would require at least 8 months to manufacture and be certified, but it could be incorporated into the future of flying. Friendly future of flight, FFF, yes, there you go. And here's the guy, and he's spraying stuff down. He's just spray all day. He's got an owl on his back here. He's just like, it's all right, man, I work for the owl. Hey, Jim, I heard your job. You see, Ed 209's coming down. Yeah, I don't know about your job anymore. It's all right, man. I got an owl on my back. I made the deal, man. I don't know. I think Jim's in trouble here. I think the owl's telling him his days are numbered here. Airports, and again, it'll be the same for all the stewardesses and the pilots. Yeah, they'll all be. It's all going to be automated. All of it. It's going to be. Oh yeah, morally safer, folks. You can't have attractive stewardesses helping you out, fixing your drinks and stuff like that. Forget about that. Giving you pillows. Now we're gonna have Ed 209s everywhere. Just have them on it. Excuse me, sir. Your plastic shield is not properly installed. One of the obvious changes is the increasing number of masks in the airport and on Canadian airlines or on airlines. In Canadian airports, a traveler must don one. The International Air Transport Authority and many airlines urge all travelers to cover their faces. The future of flying is not friendly. I want to play this. Actually, maybe I should. I want to play it, but the CBC hates my guts, and I've already played some of their video. What do we got? Adrian Arsehole here.
Open skies, but frightened flyers.
Frightened flyers. I mean, nobody would be frightened in Canada if it weren't for the CBC, if it weren't for the toxic New World Order media. It's unbelievable. Like, frightened flyers. They just want to keep us all safer. And there's the airports. There's nobody in them, of course. All the people are being laid off. There's this douchebag, and she's watching him on an iPad. That's how authentic this whole thing is. And then they got this. I think this is the Wenliang girl here. Something Wong her. And then they got her. Look at her. She's dressed in her orange, of course. And what is she saying here?
Travel. These kinds of kiosks might disappear or get a sanitized protective coating in the future.
Just spray her, man. Spray her down. Spray this lady down. She needs to be sprayed. She needs to be ultra sprayed. You got her sticker through everything. Just spray this thing down. She works for the CBC. If you get too close to her, your kids might turn drag, man. I don't know. CBC seems to like that stuff.
Even more important, they'll use.
She's even got orange on her phone here, and she's made the deal. And then they're spraying these things. What are they using here? UV things.
Frequently touch. Testing.
What's that?
Clean.
Oh yeah, look at
check
this.
into boarding.
Yeah. Yay!
Airlines are in a desperate
Wonderful.
race to come up with a kind
Desperate
of
race.
sanitation secure.
He's spraying the napkin. Maybe you could pretend he's a Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters, right? He's almost got the Ghostbusters kit on. Yeah, he just needs a little bit of imagination there.
At Hong Kong Airport, spraying antimicrobial coating on all the places we frequently touch. Testing clean tech. A booth
Clean
with
tech. Clean tech.
your temperature and lightly sprays.
Clean, guys. They said it's clean. It's got to be clean.
Cleaning.
There's
now.
Ed 209. Ed 209. If you don't know who Ed 209 is, I'm like a huge RoboCop fan. Have you ever seen the original RoboCop? Ed 209. It's the murder robots that they make that are these big behemoths, right? But yeah, isn't this fun?
Could go robotic, like at Pittsburgh, trying out scrubbers retrofitted.
You see how, again, it's a little bit here, a little bit there. Like, Pittsburgh gets the robotic scrubbers. Hong Kong gets the disinfectant chambers. Vancouver gets the gateway portals. You know what I mean? Like, and then eventually every airport has the same. They all have the same. Come in, facial recognition everywhere you go. You're being identified, and then you're going through all the shenanigans that you have to go through just to get on a plane. You got to be treated like you are some disease. They're treating people like they're a disease. They're treating you like you're lepers. 100%. Think about it, folks. We're being treated like we're lepers. Now, remember the old saying, innocent until proven guilty? Somebody said that on the show the other night, okay? So somebody asked the question. They said, why would you have the right to infect somebody else with a disease, right? Because we were talking about mandatory vaccine. And I said, if you had a disease and you had been diagnosed with the disease and your disease was proven to be easily transmissible, then that would perhaps at that point warrant that you would have to be either vaccinated or quarantined or something because you could make other people sick. But this is not the case. The reality is none of these people that are likely going on any of these planes have absolutely anything other than the common cold or something like that. But we're all going to be treated like we're lepers and that we are all guilty until proven innocent, except you never get to be proven innocent. You see, you're just going to be guilty forever, no matter what, everywhere you go. Because what's in the airports is going to your shopping malls. It's going to your movie theaters. It's going to your arenas and sports stadiums. Yeah, it's going all over. This is what they're doing. It's so utterly evil. And we predicted so much of this. We were talking about the airports and the facial recognition, going years back, folks, how they were going to use these things and how unbelievably illegal these things are. And yet, here you go. Kobe. Yeah, privacy, that was nice, but yeah, Kobe. Oh, yeah, your rights, constitutional, yeah, it was nice, but, Kobe, right? Everything whoosh, swept aside. You have no rights. You're treated like a leper. Everywhere you go, you're going to be hosed down, sprayed down. You're going to be identified, just like we showed in New Zealand, right? And they're doing it here in Quebec. I have listeners, people on my Patreon telling me that they're doing this here in Montreal at some places, where you're walking into a store and they're asking for your identification, or they're asking you to sign in, basically, because the government wants to keep people morally safer. It's unspeakable tyranny that we are witnessing. It is so utterly evil. They have just flipped the world upside down overnight, literally. And look at this New World Order airports.
UVC light.
UV has been used in hospitals for decades as a way to disinfect and kill microorganisms. It's not enough with the pandemic.
It's so disingenuous, too. It's like she's standing in the airport looking at her frickin' iPad, and somehow we're getting this perfect stereo sound, and it's like, it's just all manipulation, folks. There's a reason why CBC has primetime drag kid shows on every night. There's a reason why. I don't know. It's probably because it's pretty damn evil. How about that? So...
passengers see a clean airport, they need to know it's clean.
Airports might consider sanitation.
Gee, doesn't this guy look familiar? Yes, he was. He was this guy up here. There he is. You can't forget the guy with the yellow jeans and the ugly ass shirt. And here he is. Is he just playing some nobody here in this role here? Is this what's going on here?
Clean.
Airports might consider sanitation portals, like this one using far UVC light, experimental, meant to safely kill viruses on the body, not yet FDA approved. On the plane.
That's it. Yeah, they didn't even mention him. They didn't say, "Oh, that's the guy that invented it." They just, yeah. And then here you are getting onto the plane. It's just insanity, folks. It's absolute insanity. Think of it. 100 years of air travel and never any of this stuff, and now all of a sudden this is the new reality, the new normal. insanity, folks. This is the crime of the century without any doubt. And look at all the different things, like everything they are changing, everything about, and they're making it so utterly awful for us to just go on about our lives. They're making air travel wretched. And it's already a stressful thing. When I say, you like to take a flight, well, nobody really, I don't know people that like to fly in planes. I'm sure they exist. I mean, it's not like going up in a Cessna or a pleasure plane or a private jet or something like that. I'm saying like commercial air travel. It's not like fun, but you're going somewhere. That's the whole thing. You're going somewhere. That's why I mentioned the Caribbean before. You're February here in Montreal, Stan. You're like, I want to go to the Caribbean, right? It's just like going to Jupiter or something. It's like a different world, right? You're going from like minus 20 to like, tropical beaches, but now, wow.
In masks or a version of full-body PPE. United Airlines will use electrostatic spray before every flight, and
we've actually tweaked the algorithm of the seat generator to maximize social distancing on the planes.
That promise to space out passengers was called out after pictures emerged.
It's called out, man. There you go, and that's what they show, and there's you saw all that crap. So even a month ago, the idea of requiring all flight attendants and customers to wear masks on board the aircraft was unthinkable. It should be unthinkable. It's abusive, and these employees should sue their companies for forcing them to do that, because it puts their lives and their health in jeopardy, and it's extremely uncomfortable. But of course, no. Instead, they're all being laid off. So it was unthinkable, too impersonal, and anxiety-causing. Now, when we see somebody wearing a mask, it puts people at ease. Susan Ormiston, senior correspondent. Susan Ormiston. Seeing somebody, Susan Ormiston, CBC, publicly funded by Canadian taxpayers, who wants to turn your kids into trannies. And here they are saying now when somebody sees somebody wearing a mask, it puts people at ease. Because we know that they're doing the responsible thing. Those kinds of societal norms are changing, said Ernest. Look at the name. You can't make this stuff up. It means the expectations we have around travel and flying in an aircraft are also going to change. Welcome to your New World Order airlines, your New World Order airports. Enjoy your flight. It's insanity. Anyways, let me know what you think about this. I know a lot of people that are in the airline industry that have been laid off or furloughed or whatever, right? They haven't. It's really awful what's been going on. This is a scamdemic. It's the biggest scamdemic that's ever happened. And this is just out of this world. And I would highly encourage people to look into Canadian privacy laws and see how many different things that are being violated by having just the facial recognition being used in the airports. It's out of this world, folks. I mean, they're like literally in the future, you're going to have to donate a kidney to get on a plane. I mean, it's out of this world where it's going, folks. It's just insane. It's just insane. I don't know. I think I'm done with air travel. I don't think I'll ever go to the airport again. And that's probably what they want. More and more people to stop flying because they can then have their Agenda 21, kill the industries, kill the travel industry, kill the airline industry, more or less, or just shrink it down into an elite sort of thing. I mean, the elites live in a different realm anyways. You think they have to dance through hoops of fire to get on their private jets? It's all a big joke. It's all for us, folks. All for the cattle. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments below. Come and support me. Please do if you can. My Patreon link's in the description. I will be going live tomorrow, of course, and I really look forward to that. I got a lot of stuff prepared for that already. And look forward to reading your comments on this. What do you think about this? What are you thinking about the future of air travel? Do you think it's done? And, how long before this type of stuff is just common as you go into the movie theater or the supermarket or the freaking shopping mall or whatever, right? You can just see them implementing these things everywhere. And it's all about control. It's all the lockstep. It's all about, we're just going to hold you in a death grip forevermore. We're never going to let you breathe. You're going to live in tyranny from now on. It's out of this world what's going on. Much love, folks. God bless you. I'll see you guys all on the next one. Take it easy.